Good morning, I'm meteorologist Jonathan Nuas. It's going to be a warm day, but not nearly as hot as it's been. We'll see temperatures today in the upper 80s with heat index values in the low 90s. So a little bit humid out there this afternoon, but again, not like yesterday. Slight chance for some isolated thunderstorms this time tomorrow morning, then clearing out. And then the weekend brings in cooler temperatures. And we see temperatures a little closer to average here going into the beginning of next week. Matt?
Okay, Jonathan Uhas with the forecast. John, thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Belanger with you here at 8:57. And the Minnesota State Fair is one of the big stories of the day in the news. Our 5 Eyewitness News camera was there as the gates of the fair opened right at 7 o'clock this morning. People were filing in, ready to get the fun started. The opening ceremony for the fair is happening at 10:15 at the Liney Lodge Bandshell. And you can learn more about all things STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math today. That's at Dan Patch Park. Plus, of course, we hope you stop by the KSTP building right by the grandstand, spin our prize wheel, and see all your Channel 5 favorites. And speaking of, Chris Eggert and Megan Newquist are live out there this morning for Minnesota Live today. Good morning, you two. Happy day one of the fair.
I know. I was just thinking, here we are, Minnesota Live, day one at the Minnesota State Fair, opening day. What more could you ask for? We are going to be live each and every weekday out here for Minnesota Live at 9 a.m. You've got 8 days to come on out and say hello.
As is per the usual, we'll be sampling food.
Yes.
Lots and lots of food. I already missed out on my foot-long hot dog breakfast.
That's your
every
year. That's the first thing
I know.
you eat.
I'll get it on the way out.
Okay.
We've got live animals here. Not here yet, and I didn't mean to call you guys animals. You're lovely people. And we have Senator Amy Klobuchar stopping by in a little bit, so that's going to be cool.
Oh, she's here.
Oh, there she is.
Hello, Senator. Oh, and she brought food to eat, too. All new Minnesota Live starts next.
Live from the Minnesota State Fair with Megan Newquist and Chris Eggert. This is Minnesota Live.
Oh, it's Sweet Martha's time.
Oh, it's cookie time, baby. It's 9 o'clock. Welcome to Minnesota Live at the State Fair. And there are some diehards starting the day off with milk and cookies, and why wouldn't you?
Buckets of cookies.
Of course.
Here.
Got to. Hey, it's day one of the fair. We appreciate you being here. For those of you who are here in person and all of you at home, thanks for being here. We're going to take you to the fair for the next 12 days. How many days?
We'll be here for 8
A lot of days.
12
Doesn't
days
matter.
Of the fair. If you're just joining us, he's Chris Eggert. I'm Megan Newquist. We're excited to be out here for day one.
Go ahead.
They opened the gates an hour later this year.
Yeah, it used to open at 6.
Now it opens at
7. Our morning reporter, Bailey Hurley, interviewed the cutest little girl. I don't know if you guys at home saw that, but she was darling. Bailey tried to talk to her about eating cotton candy first thing, and the little girl looked at her and she's like, no, you do not eat cotton candy. Cotton candy is for dessert only.
This little girl
She's
slept in a tent last night outside the fair gates because she and her family wanted to be the first in.
Mm-hmm.
So she's been out here since 3:30.
Diehards.
For sure. We've got a really fun show coming up for you today, folks. We have farm animals here. I think we've got some 4-H'ers who brought their sheep.
Animals to be determined, right? Or is sheep and a goat?
Well,
we know it's sheep now for sure?
It's sheep.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We have food coming our way later.
Fried green tomatoes.
We're doing try before you buy each and every day that we're out here at the fair.
Couple different things. We got the fried green BLTs.
Sandwiches,
and then we also have ham loaf breakfast sandwich.
I've never had the ham loaf.
Listen, it's a tradition out here
thing.
for a lot of people.
I know.
And we should also mention, of course, that we've got Senator Amy Klobuchar here. She'll be
She's
joining us in just a second.
She loves the fair.
She does love the fair.
She's always amongst the first in the gates, too. We usually talk with her early in the morning, but she is a diehard fairgoer. She loves it. She loves coming out and chatting with the people, so we'll talk with her in just a few minutes. Did you know that the fair originally started because of agriculture?
Well, yeah.
Makes sense, right?
Of course.
The Minnesota Ag Society was founded in 1854 with a mission to promote, of course, Minnesota's ag industry by presenting an annual fair. We have this photo. Look at this. This is from the fair in 1860.
That was Ken's first fair.
Stop it. So we, of course, invited the Farmers
You guys
Union.
see him back there? He's the one with the top hat on and the beard.
Oh, that's me.
We're going to talk farming in our state coming up this morning as well.
Yeah, today at the fair, all kinds of things going on. Opening day does give you discounts, by the way, if you folks at home are on the fence about coming out. Discounted tickets, there we are, run them through there, $16 for adults. Not going to go through all that. Fair hours, Megan touched on it. It is opening at 7 now, not at 6 o'clock. That's what some of us are accustomed to. And there's also, although it's quite pleasant out here weather-wise right now, it was a little stifling out here for folks who were out here working yesterday. There are some cooling mister thingy-majobbers.
Throughout.
Yeah, don't we have some video of that? We got or some pictures of the misters?
By the Fine Arts Center.
Look at that.
And by the Salem Lutheran Church Dining Hall. We don't know if they're going to be out here each and every day of the fair, but
I
we
would
saw
say
them out
they
here
will.
yesterday.
Yeah, unless somebody breaks them, and why would they do that?
I don't know.
Also tonight, the grandstand.
Wait a minute. Hold on. If it's really, really hot, don't forget to stop by the 5 Eyewitness News building at the corner of
Are you
Chambers
getting paid?
and Carnes and get yourself a little
Is somebody paying you for that?
No, but I was out here yesterday when it was stifling.
Yeah.
And this thing was a saving grace. So I just was thinking.
All right, well, I'm glad you.
It might be the hottest thing at the
Do you want me to
fair
get
this year.
somebody to come over here and fan you during the show?
A nice cabana person?
Also at the grandstand, did want to mention the Black Keys are the big act tonight. So yeah, I think at last check there might have been a couple of tickets still available. So there you go. And there's some feller dancing. I can't tell you why.
Because they're going to be dancing like that in the grandstands tonight.
What's that?
I don't know.
Can we show that again? No, we can't. That was funny.
A really pleasant day out here. Ken, we want to talk to you about that because I have this coat on because it's like humid and feels damp a little bit, and it's cool. I mean, I'm not complaining.
It's love.
And just
She needs a fan because she's got a denim jacket on.
It's just a fashion coat.
It looks nice.
Thanks.
Obviously.
Until you get sweaty.
Well, then I'll take it off. That's the beauty of the coat.
You're standing in front of a gigantic wall. What's happening over there?
And my clicker's a little bigger than the one at the station. Can you see this thing?
The iPad.
Yeah, guys, we have a break in the heat. It will not be nearly as hot. It won't be nearly as humid as it has been. I know, right? 98 degrees yesterday, 98 degrees the day before. And we still do have a heat advisory, though, in effect. That's what you see in the orange here. The red is what we've been under for 2 days in the Twin Cities and all the other shaded counties. That's the more serious excessive heat warning. That's when the heat index values, like yesterday and the day before, were 105 to 110. And even at Twin Cities International, it got to 114 degrees on Tuesday. But that heat has been pushed to the south, mostly because of the winds coming down from the north, pushing with it some clouds, which have also been a savior this morning. The temperature and the dew points have both dropped like a rock pretty much. And we're going to see that happen with these north winds. Now at Hinckley at 5 miles an hour, only 7 miles an hour. But notice they're coming out of some kind of northerly direction, not from Iowa, not from the south where they've been coming up for the past several days. So things are changing. Things are changing for the better. It will get better and better as the day goes on. Compared to yesterday, it'll still be warm, and even hot to some. But guys, 88 this afternoon compared to 98 the past couple of days is more ordinary for us here at the fair. 98 was the hottest temperature in August since 1988. So we've had enough of that. We'll talk about the weekend, which is beautiful, by the way, coming up in just a little while.
Awesome, Ken. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, one of our first guests was probably one of the first to walk through the gates at the State Fairgrounds this morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, say good morning to Senator Amy Klobuchar.
Hello.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Chris.
Senator, thanks for joining us.
I love Ken's report that the weather is
I know.
no longer coming up from Iowa. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is like
we
we're going to
talk
have
about-
cooler. It's so much better
Can we
today.
talk about closing that border, by the way?
It is so.
Just
I mean,
kidding.
it
I
is
love
a
you,
great
Iowa.
day out here. People should come out, man. It's fun.
What is it you like about the first day?
Well, I always try the new foods. The holy ham loaf at the
Yes.
Hamlin Diner.
Which we'll be trying
Old
later.
place, new place. And then, which I know you're going to try, the fried green tomato sandwich from the
Yeah.
Farmers Union.
Can't wait.
Bacon wrapped waffle dog. So there's many
I forgot
new
about that one.
items. And then I like the traditional, the cheese curds. I like talking to people because for me, representing the whole state, it's a chance for people from the Twin Cities, kids who maybe haven't even visited a farm, to see that food doesn't magically appear on your table, to
Yeah.
see the biggest pumpkin, the biggest hog, to go to the animal barns. That's a big part of the fair, how it brings people together.
Yeah, outside of the food, what are you looking forward to doing today while you're here?
Well, I like a little spin art. I don't know
yeah.
what day. It's like something I look forward to every year. And I always go to the butter carving. I met Emma, the new Princess
New
K.
Princess K,
I
nice.
have memories of the past when they cared less about hygiene, when they used to take the butter carving, those little butter carvings from the floor. When I was growing up, they would put them on saltines and
No, they didn't.
serve them to the kids
my
during their
God.
break.
That sounds
Sorry,
amazing.
they do not do it anymore, but that was a big thing. Now I go in there to greet them, and you just got to make sure you don't slip and take down every exhibit. That would be horrible because it's
imagine?
a little slippery.
Oh,
Just
that would be
tips from
so
the back
awesome.
of the stage. Yes.
I'm going to ask you to go. I'm going to pin you down here on this one. I need to know where you're at on seed art.
Seed art. Okay, that is a fun exhibit to watch, and I think I've been featured in it a few times.
think
I
you
don't
have.
remember if it's good or bad, but I've had my Kropachar seed art
So are
in
you
there
are you
featured.
pro seed art?
I am
think
very
she's
pro
pro
seed
seed
art
art.
because again, people get to see everything that we do at the
Absolutely.
fair, so
Where
that's
can people
fun.
find you if they come out here?
Well, we have our booth at Judson and Underwood. It's very interestingly located for a politician because it's kitty corner to the haunted house. The pork chop on a stick is kitty corner. And before recently, we had the snake zoo behind us. So all my pictures would have snake zoo. But our theme, more seriously, is cutting through red tape. Because we have helped so many of our veterans get their benefits, just passed the burn pit bill, which also helping our Vietnam veterans that suffer from the effects of Agent Orange. We help people when they need their Social Security check, need to get an adoption done. So I'm really proud of that work, and so that's a big part of the work we do at the fair.
Do most people just want to come out and say hi, or do they really want to talk
Most
politics
of them
with
want
you?
to say hi,
Oh, you
and
get a couple, though,
they've
right?
got a lot of stories from the past of the fair. So it's really a bit lighthearted, but at the same time, people that might not call my office, email, or send a letter, which they're welcome to do at all times, they will come up and tell me problems that you wouldn't hear otherwise. And that's really important.
Yeah,
I've
for
actually
sure.
passed bills, like the drug shortage bill, like the Medicare negotiation that's finally gotten passed so we can get better prices on our prescription drugs. A lot of the ideas came out of the state
The fair. Wow.
Yeah.
What do you think the biggest issue for Minnesotans is right now that they're facing?
I would say bringing down costs, and that includes the pharma costs, that includes housing, childcare. I just finished going to 25 counties in Minnesota, so I really have some understanding, especially in greater Minnesota, what's happening right now, as well as in our suburban area. That's number one. The number two is just we're living in a time of political divide. We all know that.
Yeah.
And bringing people together again, whether it's softball games, whether it's work picnics, whether it is just talking to someone you don't always agree with at the state fair, that matters because people were so siloed off the last few years. So not to just bring it back to the fair, but that's one of the really important things, that we are one country and what unites us is so much stronger than what divides us.
Isn't it funny you say that because I would guess, I would guess there might be some emails that would come into the office and they might have a certain tone. But if you were to have that conversation with somebody in person out here, it would not be the same thing, would it?
Exactly. People come and say, a lot of times what it is, well, I don't agree with you on this, but I agree with you on that. can you get this done? And I'm able to show them. I mean, I am now #1 in the Senate out of 100 senators for bipartisan bills. I'm #3 for passing bills. So I have literally listened to them. Senator Moran and I, the guy from Kansas, just did something on making it easier to travel because it's just gotten so hard for people. I just did a bill with working with Senator Grassley on consolidation and trying to make sure small businesses can compete. And Senator Cornyn and I, on one of my favorite bills, have been working, we're almost done, on a bill to take on ticketing fees and Ticketmaster a little bit. After the, it took Taylor Swift fans to be on my side, whatever it takes to get it done.
Well, Senator Klobuchar, it's always so much fun. It's fun to chat with you in a light environment
thank you,
like
everyone.
this
Senator.
and a
Good to
fun
see you.
time.
Thanks all.
Thank you.
I think we can also say, are you a Swiftie? Can we call you a Swiftie then
Well,
now?
I like all music, but I really, that effect of Taylor Swift coming to the Twin Cities was fun. Again, bringing people together, whether they're wearing pink or not, it's a
Yeah.
good thing.
Very true.
Super
Thank you,
fun.
Senator.
All right,
you.
thanks
Good to see
everyone.
you.
Still to come here this morning, reporter Kristen Habreck is where Senator Klobuchar was earlier this morning. She's at the main gate. Say, Kristen.
Hi guys, happy first day of the Minnesota State Fair. It's so great to be out here. Hey, coming up, we are right outside the main gates. Coming up, we're going to talk to fairgoers about what they are most looking forward to at the fair this year.
Oh, yeah, you guys can clap. Go ahead, please.
Hello. Welcome, everyone.
Something we did. Hey, it's day one of the Great Minnesota Get Together. Welcome to all you here, and everyone welcome at home.
Yeah, we want to check in with our reporter, Kristen Habrick. She's joining us live from the fair this morning with some of the fairgoers that are just making their way through the gates here at about 9:15. Hi, Kristen.
Hi guys, good morning. It's so great to be back. Bring on the 12 days of fun. I'll tell you what, you can inhale and just smell the fried food. You can hear the squeals of delight from the kids riding the rides on the Midway, and you can see the smiles on all of these fairgoer faces. Now, this is the main gates right off of Snelling, and you can see a steady stream of folks coming on in, some taking advantage of the cooler temps we're having this morning. Now, last year, get this, 1.8 million people came through the gates of the Minnesota State Fair over the 12 days. That's the 5th highest attendance in history, and who knows, maybe this year we'll break that, do a little higher number. But I want you guys now to meet this lovely family with me. Hi, guys. Hi. Tell me your names.
My name is Nikki.
Eric.
And you have 2 daughters. What are their names?
Veda and Lennon. This is Lennon and Veda.
Okay, and where do you guys live?
We now live in Washington, but we had to come back for the fair.
Original Minnesotans, both of you.
Original Minnesotans, 10 years of St. Paul street cred, and now we're back after being in Washington for about a few months. So
Okay,
had to come back and get a taste.
You got on an airplane specifically to come to the fair.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'll see some family and stuff too,
Work
right?
'em in.
Right.
Yeah.
yes,
Work 'em in.
exactly.
Okay, so what's the agenda today? Let's talk food first. What's on the list?
Sweet Martha's cookies for sure.
It's all about the cookies and
Yeah.
what's new on a stick, because you have to be a guinea pig. That's
Yeah.
part of being at the state fair. So.
And everything on a stick, so easy to walk around and
Right.
check out the sites. What else are you going to be doing?
Well, we have a bench we're going to look for. A family member that's really important to us passed away, so we're hoping to go find her
Sorry to
bench
hear
somewhere
that.
in
Yeah,
here.
we've got a memorial bench we're on the hunt for, so we want to do that as well.
And so you're going to make it into a little bit of a scavenger hunt
Yep.
to
Got
see?
it.
Okay, how
And
about
then
for the
maybe some
girls?
Rides for the girls.
Rides for the girls.
Rides
Yeah.
for the girls.
It's all about the Midway, get into the animal buildings. So yeah,
Oh,
we've got a
definitely.
big day on tap.
And they've been to the fair before?
They have. They
Okay.
have indeed. So they're really excited. That was kind of the deals.
Yeah.
We're moving, but we'll come back for the fair.
For the fair. Now, what about souvenirs? How are you going to bring stuff home?
Boy,
We
you
packed an
just
extra
opened
suitcase.
Pandora's box for us, thankfully. But
Gotta ask the tough question.
right, the tough questions, hard hitting. I get this, and we'll definitely be cruising through the bazaar, I think, to look for some
Yeah.
trinkets here or there.
Okay, yeah, maybe send some stuff back, you know, FedEx,
Got it.
something like
Right,
that.
yeah.
Got it.
All right, you guys will have so much fun today. Great to meet you. Thank you. How wonderful is that, Chris and Megan? They flew all the way back for the Great Minnesota Get Together. Minnesotans at heart, it never dies.
Nope. If you've been here and you love it, you make sure that this is part of your summer tradition. I love it, Kristen. Thank you. We're going to check back in with her in a little bit, see where she is.
Yes, we will. All right, let's talk some farming here, because Senator Amy Klobuchar was just saying a lot of this is an opportunity. One of the big fun parts of the fair is for people who maybe live in the city, for them to get an opportunity to get a little bit closer to agriculture. We know how important it is in our state. Gary Werdish is the president of the Minnesota Farmers Union. Gary, thanks for joining us. Good to see you again.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for Chris and Megan. Good to be here.
Your family farms in Renville County.
Yeah, it is. My wife and I, we rent to our son, and I still help him on the farm when I'm able to. And we actually have grandchildren that are kind of pushing me out of the tractor a little bit. So, you know, it's a little
You want
challenge.
that, right? Like, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, that's terrific. That's what every farmer wants. You want your family to continue the operation. So I want that. Although I do want to be able to drive a little bit too, here and there.
Tell us a little bit about this food that you brought. People have been eyeing this morning, going, what is this?
This year at our Farmers Union Coffee Shop right inside the Snelling Gate on 1635 Dan Patch Avenue, we introduced our chef, Chris Chef. He's our executive chef at our Farmers Kitchen and Bar restaurant that we have right next to the Guthrie Theater in downtown Minneapolis. He introduced a fried green tomato sandwich. So you'll have 2 options. You'll have a vegetarian option or one with bacon on it. And the unique thing about it, we do it at a restaurant, Farmers Kitchen Bar, and out here, we source as much as possible, direct from Minnesota farms. The bacon came from 2 farms, Pastures of Plenty Farm, the Vanderpool family in Clara City, Minnesota, and Hidden Stream Farm by Elgin, Minnesota. So that's where the bacon came from. The tomatoes came from 6 family farms. And we sourced it, we aggregated through the Good Acre, which is just north of the fairground. They helped us coordinate it. So the lettuce, everything as much as possible. And that's what, as Farmers Union, we advocate for family farmers. And a lot of it is people are so many generations removed from the farm, they don't realize where their food comes from anymore. And it's not their fault. They don't have any idea. So part of what we try and do is really connect the consumer to the farmer through their food. Food is important to everybody. Everybody needs to eat. We all know that. Unfortunately, some people struggle, but we need to eat, and farmers, our job, we raise the food, and agriculture is 30% of our state's economy, so it's huge. You see it in the rural communities. You see it down here, and really glad to showcase our message here at the State Fair.
You better take a bite, Meg. I know you like tomatoes.
I do. I love tomatoes.
While you're taking your first bite,
All right,
Gary, tell me, we've been talking a lot about in certain parts of the state, drought conditions. How are things looking from your perspective?
Well, Minnesota is, I think 82 of the 87 counties are in some form of drought. Obviously, some counties are worse than others. The most extreme drought right now is the southeastern part of the state. About 5 or 6 counties in the southeastern part. They're on the red on the map. But it's really affected all of agriculture, and you'll see it as you drive around the state. It varies a lot. I've seen corn 3 feet high, which won't be a crop. It's a challenge, and it's, the weather extremes, we don't have a control over the amount of rainfall. It's just lack of rainfall. And also we've had a lot of heat too. So that's caused, extreme damage too. But, farmers are, we have to deal with what's thrown at us.
You do. That's one of the tough things about it.
And, the last few days is very uncomfortable as people. We were complaining how hot and muggy it was. And some people could stay in their air-conditioned rooms or houses or whatever if they're able to. But farmers can't do that. They still got chores to do. If you have livestock, the last few days has been a real challenge keeping them livestock cool.
Sure.
There's been some losses due to the heat of the livestock. So we have to take care. Whether it's you got to do your job. It's 24/7. A lot of that. You can't stay in. Well, it's too warm or too hot today. Or
It doesn't work that way when you're running a farm.
It doesn't work that way on a farm. So
Gary, this sandwich is amazing. I think about people that are only used to shopping at the grocery store. That tomato was so good and so fresh. Nothing spongy and weird about it. That was delicious. Good, right? I don't mean to give
That is very good. Oh my gosh.
a full bite. You mentioned the corn crop not looking super great. What about soybeans? What about some of the others that are in the ground right now?
it's really going to depend on where you are, what part of the state you're in, and any type of your soil. If you have a little heavier soil, it can hold on a little longer. If you got real light soil there, you're obviously going to have more damage unless you got irrigation. So it really varies. Soybeans, we've had some rain recently in the last week or two, so that's going to help the soybean crop more than the corn. It'll help the corn fill out some, but the soybean, it will help them probably a little bit better, but there's still going to be some areas of the state that's going to be really extreme losses on their crops.
All right, so people can get this sandwich at the Farmers Union Coffee Shop. What else can they get?
Well, we have our maple cream nitro cold press. That's been a big seller at the fair, and
Sounds good.
it's really good. And there too, it's we get the maple syrup from a couple of Minnesota farms. Or the cream that goes in there, heavy cream from Stony Creek Dairy from Melrose, Minnesota. It's a local on-farm
cool.
bottler, and we try and support local as much as we can. And it's important for people to do that. One, we think you get a better quality food, better quality products, and you're putting them dollars in locally to the farmer, back in their local economy. That makes a difference. You'll see that reflecting back in your small towns, especially in the more we can buy local, the more the money turns. They always say a dollar turns like 7 times in the economy. Well, if you can do that in a local economy, that makes a huge difference, especially to the small towns.
And it allows people that come to the fair the opportunity to sample from farms if they haven't before, right? We've all become so accustomed to just the grocery store and not knowing where our stuff comes from. I love that you guys provide an opportunity for people that are coming here to taste fresh and local and maybe make that change in their life.